Great. Well, I'm not sure how much more time we should wait here. Let's get right into it here. First things first, we always like to throw everything out with a win. Anybody got a win for the last 7 days this week? Over the last 7 days here since our last roundtable. Throw your hand up there and we can throw that in there. Nobody wants to be
Somebody's got to
first,
have
eh?
a win.
Yeah, no doubt. There's got to be a ton of wins out there. Mike, you got a win. Sorry. Alex, I'll get right back to you, brother.
Yeah, right. I'm on my wife's computer, so I don't know how to make all the buttons work. Yeah, I got a win for this week. I just booked my airline flight, my hotel, and my car rental for the upcoming workshop next week. So I'm excited.
That is fantastic, brother. That is awesome. That's a great win. Putting yourself in a position where you get to learn from people that can teach you something is special for sure. I don't think as a young person, I didn't spend enough time learning from mentors, people that actually knew what they were doing in whether it was business, finance, life, life coaches and so on. But in the last 10, 15 years, I've spent a lot of time in training, and I feel like I just love being that perpetual student of life, So great job, Mike.
Yeah, and I was the same way most of my life. I was prideful and arrogant, and I thought I knew everything, so I couldn't learn nothing. Now I figured out that I am prideful and arrogant, and I just love to learn. Now it's like the older I get, the more I want to learn. So thank you.
Absolutely, that's awesome, man. I think we can all take a lesson from that for sure. Alex, you had your hand up. Did you get the win out of the way already, or what? What's going on?
Yeah. I just wanted to say I started my season last weekend, got 2 jobs down already, so we're looking forward to the summer coming up here now.
That is amazing. That's awesome. Temperatures are rising, and I think all of us are getting to work, if I'm not mistaken. I personally live north of Montana, so I'm pretty much as far north as you're going to get. Alex, you're Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just across from each other, so that it definitely, it's warming up everywhere. So yeah, I'm sure everybody's busy. Appreciate the feedback. That's awesome. Congrats, man. All right, next I have in line is, I believe, Maverick.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Speaking of mentor, Mike, my brother and I don't know if he's on this meeting or not, but we are actually getting on a flight to Pennsylvania tomorrow to meet Coach Skyler Gurman. 3-day weekend. We're going to learn stuff. He teaches all about how he uses equipment, everything from generating leads to doing services, and just super hyped. We've been waiting for this for the last month, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity. So I'm just on my way home right now. We're going to get packing, and it's super exciting. So yeah, really hyped to see what this weekend brings us.
That is amazing. You cut out a bit there for a bit, but what's your number one?
Okay.
What's the number one thing you want to take away from that meeting? Are you got hopefully got some questions lined up and so on as well?
Yeah. So yeah, I would say all the questions we've been looking at the vault. So all the questions that we've been getting from there, we'd like to ask him as the conviction. Like I feel like just at this weekend, we're gonna have a whole new mentality, and we're just gonna have the confidence to get out there and do it ourselves. So I would say those are the two things. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I'd say the mentality is the biggest thing. You gotta, anybody can seal coat, but you gotta have the belief that you can do it, and the passion, so yeah.
Well, you guys are
Awesome.
committed, Maverick. That's sorry, Matthias, didn't mean to cut you off there, buddy, but I've been working with these guys, and I am so stoked to see what happens to your business, man. I really am. I think it's just going to be amazing. You guys are doing it the right way, man. Investing in yourselves. You guys got a substantial financial investment in this, and I'm just I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, me neither.
I want to ask a quick question.
Can't wait to do it with you guys.
One of the things that I find on a regular basis, and this is just life period, you'll have days when you're up and there's days when you're down. But one of the things that I found, and I'll ask the question here, who finds that on a regular basis, it could be, it could be day in, day out, it could be the beginning of the week, the end of the week. Who finds that sometimes you just feel defeated and you just don't feel like going to work that day? There's days when you just feel like rotten and you feel dumpy and you're just like, most of us would typically agree. One of the things that I found, and I'm sure you're going to find this as well, is that when you link in with somebody that's just rocking it, just really crushing it, that you can help feed off of each other. So mentorship and coaching will absolutely bring you from a position of should I make the next call? Do I need to actually stop? We'll make you do that. We'll actually put you in the mindset where growing and learning and continue to push forward is so huge. So you're going to get that when you're with Skylar for sure. Awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Matthias. Thank
Absolutely,
you, Rob.
Maverick. John, good to see you, brother.
Hey, man.
What do you got for a win, brother?
So we got some good quotes going on this week. Some nice milling paves, striping. Just reaching out to everyone on here. I did post for some help with a big box chain I'm working with. Some jobs throughout the US. I posted about 8 sites. I have some more coming through the pipeline. You can please look on the AK Roundtable Facebook group, and along with the city, state type of job and the insurance requirements.
For anyone new on here, John, for anybody on here that's new, do you own a shovel?
I own a tamper. A tamper and some blacktop.
So anybody wanting to connect with you, what would they be actually looking for? Do you provide jobs? What is your gig? So that anybody new here, like I saw Duke was on earlier and so on. What is it that you do and what are you looking for?
So I am brokering jobs. I'm mostly not doing the work. I'm looking for partners to work with. So we both win at the end of the day. Fantastic.
Anybody jump on the AK Roundtable Facebook page. John's got there. Let's go give him some help and we can go. This is why we put our names and our emails on our Zoom calls here so you guys can connect. Connect with John on info@palladiumpavement.com. Awesome. Thank you, John. Appreciate you for sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Mark Roby. How you doing today, brother?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi there. Thanks for having me on first time. Yeah, big win for us this week. We bought a trailer, crack sealer, and all our basic kind of needs, and we just got our CCB today in Oregon. So
That's
we're about
amazing.
to kick things off. Yeah. So, planted this seed 5 years ago and, it's coming to life. So we're excited to get some seal coat on the pavement.
That's amazing, brother. I think one of my favorite things is when a new person starting a business, even first of all, has the guts to open up and share. Number one, that's amazing. And second, when you get a chance to be around a group of people like we have here that are, number one, just rooting for you. Number two, have a ton of information that you can feed from and share. And that you're in a space where where Asphalt Kingdom just wants to help everybody really exceed the targets they're setting for themselves. So congratulations on being part of a great group, brother. And
thank you very much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Excellent. Victor. Hey, brother. You're still not, there's no audio coming through, just so you know. Can't hear anything, brother. Not sure.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. You bet.
Okay, Bluetooth thing sucks. So I was pondering to say, if this is a win, yeah, it is a win. I've been getting different quotes.
You disappeared again, brother. Not sure what happened.
And bring them on board to this one because I got a lot of work that needs to be done. The current job that I'm on right now, the site. So I came in here, brought him here, met with him yesterday, introduced him to the owner. And everything the owner liked him. The owner's looking for solid people to work with. He said myself and him, and he got his roofer. And now the paver says, Victor, you used to do line striping too. He goes, yeah, well, I got tons of jobs that I'm doing. and we have this little line striper, but we don't have time for it. We just sub it out. So I know that we're supposed to get paid for our efforts when we get us a something out. But with him, I said, you know what? I'm not going to sub this out. I'm going to give this job to him. He can deal with the client. I don't know a lot about paving, and he came because the client here said the reason why I got this job, even being the highest bidder, was because of my behavior, what I did, the way I came, and so I said, you know what? Let me do the same thing with the paper and bring him on board. So now I'm stuck with a bunch of line striping jobs that are coming up for his job. So yeah, there's a few wins there.
That's awesome, brother. You know, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Since we've started talking, I think it was late last year, and then you end up going through and purchasing your equipment and then just rocking these jobs, man. I can't tell you how proud I am of you, and thank you so much for sharing every week.
It's this is a some people go to church to go to confession. We go here to remind us of why we do this, and also motivate other people paying it forward. Just someone else's confession, or let's say, helps other people. Well, I mean, if this guy can do it, right now I'm working a full-time job and making this thing happen. And your question from earlier, no, Matthias, I'm ticked off at the weather. I can't wait to get out here. I'm exhausted by the time I get home, but I haven't enjoyed working in about 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing, brother. We appreciate you being here every week and sharing every week as well. Thank you. Awesome. Fantastic. So, Anthony, Mr. Bison, can you hear me?
Hello, brother. Yes.
Hey, brother. Yeah, a little bit. You're in and out.
Is that better?
That's better. You betcha. You're sounding clear. So
that is better now.
Excellent.
Yes.
So I know that we'd been waiting for you and Skylar to jump on here, but anything to add to what we just had this morning, just had already here, like as far as wins, and then I'll hand it to you.
Well, I want to talk about John. First of all, John on the Facebook group the way that he did, and he's looking for partners. That is exactly what this community is. It's opportunities given and accepted and received. John is a living, breathing example of exactly what we want to see continued. And then was just on Carlos, right?
That was Victor Cruz, I believe.
Oh, Victor, I'm sorry. I have no idea why his first name just escaped me. But if you think about the way that he just looks in his face, the happiness is evident from his first call, his first roundtable to now. I think he looks 10 years younger and 100 times more happy. So I could see that in him, and yeah, Victor's a living example of what's possible through the transformation of finding community, finding something that you're passionate about, and becoming bought into making yourself better and finding solutions for companies, for property owners, because those options for us happen all the time. But if we don't seize it and start moving, our situation never changes. So we can talk about it a lot. We can be on the fence a lot. We can think that it's a good idea. But until we actually start moving and trying some things out and revising the play as we're making them, oftentimes we find ourselves with that same resentment and unhappiness.
Absolutely. Did we lose you? I would tend to agree with exactly what Anthony said, though. You look amazing, brother, and you look confident, and you look like you're doing something you care about. I know we talked a few times about where you work now and how it was eating away at your soul. and how the difference in you has changed a lot for sure. So I'm glad you're part of the community, brother. Really am.
I got a question here, and you
Sure.
just can just raise your hand. How many of you wish you would have known about this business 10 years ago, 15 years ago? I wish someone would have told me about this business when I was in my 20s. I mean, what a great business this is, and just what a way to build security for yourself. And I don't know, I think about it a lot and wish, man, if someone would have told me about this and taught me how to sell when I was young, I would have crushed it. And I look forward to seeing you guys do it. I mean, it's awesome to see the difference in people on here from the time that I started coming on here to now, and the people that have started their business, and look at where you are now, and the way that you speak and the way that you carry yourself is entirely different. It's pretty incredible, man. I'm super grateful to be here with you guys.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I'll piggyback on that. I was
Might
talking to a
also
gentleman.
get that point across.
Go ahead.
I said, was my signal clear enough to get the point across? Because Robert definitely reiterated some of the things that I was focusing in on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was clear. You bet. You bet.
Good.
I was going to piggyback off of a little bit what you said too, Rob. I was talking to a gentleman today. His name is Wyatt. He works out in Wyoming for the Parks Department. And one of the things that he mentioned today was we were going over a package that he was putting together for a location he works at. And he says, man, I feel like I should just quit my job and do this for a living, because he takes care of a huge airport out there. And the asphalt, he's like, man, I could just do this straight up for a living. I could do all of this. So it's funny how when you speak about the opportunity, and he's probably about 25. So you could just see this growing thing in him. I've talked to him over the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 months, and it's just this growing thing in him where he's like, man, I should totally do this. But he's stuck in he's in his world and his job, and hasn't seen the light yet on the way out of it. So good call. All right, Anthony, you open for questions?
Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to make sure I'm in a good spot for a signal. So we have a clear connection? Let's just confirm that.
It's okay. It's still in the red, and you kind of cutting in and out a bit, but it's pretty clear.
Give me 30 seconds.
Sure, sounds good. So let's get some hands raised for questions. If anybody has specific questions about, projects, whether it's coaching, whether it's how to price, whether it's, do's and don'ts, how to connect with customers, whatever your question is, get your hand up and we can get some of those things answered by Anthony here right away. What's up, Sales? What's your first name, brother?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, my first name is Tevin.
Tevin?
Yeah, I got a guest with me, so excuse me.
Cute.
The question that I had is, I'm supposed to be landing, not supposed, but I'm hoping I land a seal coating job, but I have the AK-55 tote sprayer, and I'm thinking that I might have to do the job at night. And I was wondering, can I put down any additives with the tote, or what's the best way of going about that so it can dry quicker before before they open?
You're talking about drying agents, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anthony, you got any feedback on that, brother?
Yeah, for sure. Is that clear now? Are we good?
Yeah, it's good, brother. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to keep beating the dead horse on the signal thing, but I just wanted to make sure you guys we're good there. So yeah, Tevin, you can add additives to a tote. You're gonna want to make sure that you have the extensions on the mixer and you have a good cordless drill so that you can keep that agitated. We want to get you successful and get you into a steel tank with agitation, and get you leveled up, right? So, but we're gonna do that in time, and it's definitely a stage. The thing that you want to watch out for is if the additive you use has any viscosity modifiers, so it makes it you
cut out there, brother. Not sure what happened.
It's the one thing you're gonna want to watch.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Can you repeat that, Anthony? I think we missed it.
Yeah, the last part.
Okay. If there's a viscosity modification element to the additive and it makes the material thicker, if it increases the viscosity, you can make the material so thick that it's hard to get it out of the tote. So you want to make sure that you don't make the material too thick, but you also don't want to over dilute the material at night because you're already reducing the drying time, or you're increasing the drying time because of the loss of the sun. So you want to make sure that when you run anything at night and you're trying to seal when the sun is down, too much water is a very hard thing to overcome.
Is there anyone that you recommend for the tote? Like that's on the site on Asphalt Kingdom, or
what material do you run in the totes?
The asphalt emulsion.
Okay, if you've got an asphalt base, you can run the green label FSA, the green label buckets. That will be good, and it doesn't really thicken the material. So that would probably be a good one to start with. If you can make, so one thing that you want to do is you don't want to be cleaning, crack filling, and then sealing at like leaving your window. Say they're closed from midnight until 7 o'clock in the morning. Like just say that. The sooner they close that you can get the sealer started, the better. So sometimes you might have to clean and crack fill one night and then stop. And then the next night at midnight, seal coat so that you have that full 7 hours to let it set up.
Okay, I got you. Perfect. I got you. Because I was a little nervous about it if I land the job, because I just didn't know. But yeah, you just pretty much answered everything for me. So.
Yep. And honestly, if it's, how big is the parking lot?
It's a small parking lot. I think we told it like maybe 3,000 square feet. I think it's not really that big.
How many?
I think 3,000 square feet. I have to get up and look at my notes. It's really not that big.
You might want to hand apply it. If you hand apply it, it will dry faster. I don't know what the exact science is behind it, but if it's just the mill thickness or what it is, but every time that you level it off with a brush, that material will set up faster than if you would have sprayed the same area. So if it's small enough and you can hand apply, you might want to do that at night. It'll add another element of safety for you.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Great question. Thanks, brother. All right. All right. The next person we got is, I believe it's Fred Hood. If I'm right. Fred, you want to come on, brother? Hello, Fred. He might have stepped away. All right. Let's go with Maverick. Maverick, go ahead, brother.
Hey, Anthony. Thank you. So I have a question in specific about pothole repair. So my brother and I, we've been pretty good about figuring out pricing when it comes to, seal coating, crack repair, gator patch, and that sort of thing. But just wanted to get a little tips. Just what's your opinion on pothole repair? In the past, we've used Aquafalt, and that works pretty good. But the only problem is the shelf life isn't that long. I think it's a year if it's not opened, and then they say on the website once you open it, you only have, and I think it's a matter of days before you can use it. So unless you're using filling huge, I think it's like a gallon pail or something like that, but unless you're filling huge potholes, like you're not going to use the entire tote in a couple days. And so what's your opinion on that sort of material? Do you use Aquafalt? And if not, what do you use, and what are your opinions on pricing?
So I'm a hot mix guy. I switched over to using exclusive hot mix for years and years. In the wintertime, we do buy a winter mix of cold patch that we pack our hot boxes with, and then we do emergency repairs. So it's not like we're never using cold patch. It's only when the asphalt plants are closed. Because of the amount of experience I have working with hot mix, I will take I will take uncompacted asphalt that I've set aside, and I will reheat that for small areas in order to fix small depressions and stuff like that. So you can, there is a huge value there, because you can get a ton of asphalt for generally around $100 across the country, 100 to 150. You can break that into small enough bits that when you figure out the formula or the sequence to reheat that and make sure that it's still usable, the value is huge. So your costing is it starts to really feel like pure profit and a little bit of propane, right? So that kind of is what I'm inclined to tell coaching clients is, like, let's get you to that point where you're picking up a load with a dump trailer or a hot box, and you're installing it, and the material that you don't use, you set aside in cookies, blocks, people call them different things, and then you're reheating those, and they're basically just a shovel or two of asphalt that you can then reheat. If you get a very high quality wheelbarrow, a lot of people will reheat in a wheelbarrow and then use that to pour right into the pothole. You can use, Asphalt Kingdom has a rejuvenator oil that you can spray on there that increases the maltines that you're burning off when you're reheating it. And you can make really high quality asphalt from what would be your scrap. And rather than give it back to the asphalt plant, you can turn it into hundreds or thousands of dollars.
Right.
So your question about pricing, what have you been charging for pothole repair in the past?
We were just doing about double when it comes to margins. So say we used, a bucket of Aquafall, which is about $75. You're charging $150 to $200. We haven't. That was something that I appreciate your answer. You're just letting us know about Hot Patch. That was something we haven't put as much time into figuring it out. Just because we've been doing pretty pristine. Last year we did a lot of residential and pretty pristine driveways, but I know this year running into commercial, we're going to definitely run into some potholes. So, we've just been doing about double. And when you say heat it up, in a wheelbarrow, what would you heat it up with?
Honestly, one of the best things that you could invest in that will help you figure out the timing and the sequence is a 2x2 or a 2x, what's the other size, Matthias?
It's 18 by 4. Yeah, it's an 18 by 4. Yeah, so they're modular. You can actually add them together, but the 4 foot is pretty nice for longer cracks and repairs.
The small infrareds are worth their weight in platinum, like 100%. That I bought a 2x2 infrared last year. Every time it goes out, it makes $1,000. Like, I'll take less than $100 in asphalt and charge $1,200 for a very few amount of heats. So I like to get 500. I like to get 500 for my first heat, and then 400 for my second, 300 for my third, and once I get down to 200, I'm adding those numbers on, right? I'm not discounting. Then I will run all of them at 200. So a 2x2 patch for $200 is crazy good money. And to get the first one on site, just to load it up, I will charge 500, 900 for 2, and then I'll start to give a little bit more of a discount from there. But that infrared has proven to be a very versatile tool, because you can take it and utilize it on the same day that you're doing other services, because it's not a monstrosity. I've had a trailer built infrared machine before, and by the end of the day, just folding that thing back up in half was like, we had two guys, we would have to muster the strength to close it just so we could turn it back into a trailer, connect it to our truck, and actually leave the job site. We were so tired of pushing that thing around. The modular nature of what's available through Asphalt Kingdom is by far a superior design. I know that I sound like I would naturally say that, but honestly, working with the two, it reinvigorated my desire to sell infrared repairs to people because it is so easy to get the piece there rather than it feel like this whole extra step where we used to always have to tell people, well, we come with on a different day with different equipment to do the infrared repairs. Now we just come on the same day. It's right in the back of one of our pickup trucks, and that and a plate compactor, and we go to town. Last week, my son and we went and did 6 heats on a driveway in the morning while the crew was out doing cleaning and crack filling on other driveways in the neighborhood. Then they got to the one that we had done the repairs on, and it was like it was so easy. It was me and an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long? So was it? You did the same. So you seal coated the property the same day you hot patched it, correct?
Yes. So with asphalt emulsion, there is no time delay that's needed. If you're doing a large repair or a large installation, it is ideal to wait. But if you're doing small isolated areas, I personally, as a contractor, have the experience and the confidence that it's not distributing it or destroying the repair. The old materials that you couldn't put on for like a 30 days, 6 months, a year, that material doesn't really exist anymore. So the modern formulations of asphalt sealant, especially asphalt based materials, are so kind to the asphalt profile itself that it will not disintegrate the oils. It won't trap anything. There's a lot of things that people are it's old mentality, an old wives' tale, as people call them, that doesn't stay true. If you're doing large repairs, you should wait, but you don't have to wait. That's my experience. Other people may have different experiences, but that is my personal contracting experience.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. One more question, Anthony. Thank you so much for answering. But say we were so I don't know if you heard Rob saying, but my brother and I just put a huge loan down on a bunch of equipment, and
Nice.
we've had the blessing to be able to get a lot of really nice equipment so far. But what is how crucial would it be to use hot patch compared to cold patch, such as Aquafalt? Do you think that's something that's pretty necessary? Like, what is the sacrifice that we'd be making with cold patch versus hot patch? Durability?
I know a lot of people speak very highly of Aquafalt and the water setting patching materials.
Yeah.
They have a place in the market because they work. So I believe that it also, there's a huge convenience factor because it is a nice package that you're putting it in. You get a free bucket. Like, there's all sorts of cool parts about it.
Yeah.
The availability for me and the way that my crews are set up, it's easier for me to work with hot mix asphalt and to reclaim the virgin mix that we don't use, that's uncompacted asphalt, either in my hot box or in an infrared, under an infrared, when we're doing repairs. That's just what works well for me. So in my personal history, it's just what I'm inclined to do because of what my experience is.
If I said that they ended up the same, Maverick, if they were both identical at the end of the day, what would you see as the difference on your bottom line? Look at it that way for a second. Because if it costs you $75 a pail, or it costs you peanuts, even if it was exactly the same, which I have a feeling they're not exactly the same, but let's say they were exactly the same, your cost or your margin would be very different. Am I right?
Right. Oh yeah, miles different. I mean, according to Anthony, very different. Very different.
Right on.
There's
Cool.
hundreds and hundreds of shovels in a ton of asphalt, right? There's hundreds of shovels. So if you can find the place to separate that material that's left over, the cost savings are it's crazy. And you can like you can use the material on the weekend. You can use it in overnight. You don't have to wait for something to be open. You can transport that, heat it up in the pothole. Like, well, I think Maverick, I would love to spend some time with you one-on-one and talk you through the sequence of how to go through that, or spend some time with you. And if you're not working with someone directly, you should reach out. Matthias would connect us, or Robert would, and I'd be able to just give you some more direct guidance, because I think that you guys are ready to really rocket ship off. And yeah, a couple other key factors that you guys can build into your network or into your arsenal right now. It'll be like dynamite for you.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, thank you so much. I'm totally gonna take that opportunity. Yeah, I'll give you an email. Oh, there's Skylar. Hey there. I'll totally take that opportunity. I'll be talking to you.
What?
I'll send you an
hours?
email, Anthony. What are you saying? What, Skylar?
I said T minus 26 hours till you guys are here.
T minus 26 hours.
That's it, baby.
Sweet.
That's
So
it.
excited.
Yeah. So Friday to Sunday, you guys will be here. So we're
Skylar,
excited.
do you think you could?
We can. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It was you. I think it's a delay.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think there is a delay. Nothing. I was super excited, and maybe we could even, Anthony, I'd love to hear what you have to say more about pothole repair, but maybe we can go over that too this weekend, Skylar, if you're up for it.
Yeah, anything you want. And again, even more advanced repairs. Anthony does a lot of catch basin and that type of stuff too. So there's definitely room for learning some of those techniques as well. We can go over aquafault, we can go over hot mix, we can go over all those basic things, and I can show you all of it. I'm going to say off of the bucket label, if you're looking at instructions, I'm not going to tell too many people not to follow instructions, but I've never seen aquafault go bad if you didn't use it in a day. We keep it open on the truck and apply it and apply it and apply it. And, it's never failed us. So that's one thing to, keep in mind, especially if it's something small and it's real quick, go, maybe use it. But exactly like Anthony's saying, right? If you're going to lay a bucket or two and you're going to get a ton of hot mix, like versus a bucket, it's going to be way more, advantageous to have actual hot mix there than aquafault. Like, again, pretty much exactly like they're saying, if it's over the size of like maybe a dinner plate or something, I'm going to hot mix. I might do it for the just sheer convenience of aquafault on something super small, but like I'm not comfortable working with it in a large scale of like, oh, I'm going to put a 2x2 patch in or something like that. I'm probably going to go to straight hot mix, and, we can review all that stuff as well. But again, once it starts getting to those advanced techniques with like catch basin repairs and, patching back in against all those, I think Anthony is still a really, good source there to still bounce a lot of stuff off of, because there's a lot of, knowledge to be had there as well.
I want to tell a funny story real quick. My first year, I sold an $8,000 parking lot. It was a Chinese food restaurant, and it had a sunken catch basin. We said we were talking about patching and cold and catch basins, and it reminded me. I was scared to go get hot mix, so I went and I got 2 tons of cold patch in the back of my F-150. Back when they would put cold patch in the back of an F-150, and I drove to this place and I rented a plate compactor and I put so much cold patch around this catch basin, it never hardened up. It took forever. I had to keep going back and adding more because people would drive over it. It was a nightmare. I had no idea what I was doing. It was a nightmare. I thought I could figure my way through it, and I lost so much money on that job. I went back to this Chinese. It was an $8,000 job. I probably was there 80 times.
Yeah, I'm not endorsed by aquafault or anything either, but like it's probably the only cold patch material I would trust. I've never had too much luck with anything else that didn't turn into a Play-Doh pile of crap. You know what I mean? It was just this malleable, never got hard, even if you torch it or compact it. So like, it's probably the only thing I would consider to use too. It's another thing for everybody on here, you know, because I know it's common, especially with guys starting out. You know, just be wary of the things you are using. And hot mix, really, the only real thing in the beginning with hot mix is time. Like, you got to just remember it's limited working time. And typically, as long as you buy enough that it keeps it warm enough to be able to work with, you have enough to last you. So that's one thing. But like, you know, hot boxes are nice, and you know, infrareds are nice because you can heat up little sections or you can keep a lot hot to continue. But it's just time is really your only constraint, because you'll know when it's starting to get hard and all of a sudden it's almost impossible to shovel and you got another half ton to lay. Like, it sucks. So just,
185 degrees is the cessation point of asphalt. So you cannot compact asphalt at 185 degrees, but you can at 186. It's very difficult, but that's the number that you're fighting against. You're going to pick it up. It's going to be 300 to 325 coming out of the silo. And then you've got until it ticks down to 185 to work with it before you need to torch it or put the infrared, try to heat it back up. So if you buy an infrared or an infrared temperature device, so like a laser temperature gun, you can help yourself out a lot. But that's the number that you want to be working with it above 200 degrees.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, we had a couple more people with hands up. Fred, did you finally get a chance to step back in the room? You got a question? Or you just leave your hand up there from before? Was it Gary? Gary, did you have your hand up as well? There we go, Gary. Come on. Go ahead and mute yourself. We can't hear you, Gary. Nothing there. Not yet. Anybody else have any questions that we want to throw by the coaches today? Rob, you got any questions? Nothing right now?
Nothing right now.
Oh, Alex. Alex, please appreciate you coming on, brother. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, what's up? How we doing?
What's up, Alex? Good to see you, brother.
Hell yeah. It's been a minute. So my question is, so right now, last year, you know, Anthony, you're very well known about this, but I was doing the jobs myself, whatever. This year I have a crew. So I have 3 guys, and I want to do, you know, commercial almost exclusively. But in the meantime, so basically over the winter, I had a full month of jobs lined up, and I'm like coming to the end right now. I've been out there, you know, working with the crew some. I've been trying to kind of remove myself at this point, so I can focus strictly on estimates, sales, stuff like that. But I guess my question would be like, what do you have your guys doing on, you know, rainy days? Just, I'm trying to basically fill the time in between commercial jobs right now. And that would be the one thing that I would like you to touch.
Me and Anthony just got talking about this like an hour.
You said rain, so I think this is your ball game right now.
Yeah, it's been really bad. I mean, the last 20 days in Pennsylvania, we've gotten probably 4 days of like actual work time, and a lot of it really is just moving forward prep. And I know it's really hard in the like when the earlier parts, especially of the season and that type of stuff too, and especially making that transition, like from, I remember going from me being in the field all the time to having the crew, and then like understanding, like we're talking about, of like, man, I just ran payroll and it was $7,000 and all we did was clean the shop and got everything ready. But it's almost like those, like the lead and lag indicators. It's what are you doing that's going to set you up more efficiently. So when you do mobilize to that next commercial job or whatever it is, you're going to be X amount more efficient, more prepared? Are the trucks getting done? Are they cleaned? You know, is the equipment done? Is everything set up? Is everything loaded? Is everything organized to the most efficient manner? You know, are you doing some of that stuff? And then again, you know, I like to incentivize everybody and put everybody on some type of performance type basis, right? Where even if they're not, you know, we have our laborers. We had a laborer just come bring a $65,000 job in on a rain day. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna call some guys and I'm gonna call some local businesses and see if they're interested. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, you incentivize them on a percent of either net or top revenue, and they sit there and make calls for you, and you start landing jobs, and all of a sudden, it's not so much harder to constantly do commercial works. Like it's sometimes it is hard to understand, to get like a, you know, what we call our laborers or seal coating techs to understand, like, I'm going to sit here and I might not get paid, but if I make the right phone call, I'm going to get a nice fat check, and it might be 3 weeks worth of pay. So it's just been something that we have done as well too. We try and go back to this patching, you know, world, right? Where you can prep and you can patch on these days. Like if it's pouring down raining, yeah, you can't. But if it's misting and just kind of like, oh, it's going to rain at 3 o'clock and you know we can't seal coat, like have them go out and saw cut and compact patches all day long and push that world constantly, because it fills those gaps where now all of a sudden you're not filling the gaps with unrevenue generating tasks, right? You're filling them with revenue generating tasks. And that's ideally the world that you want to be in. There is, you know, you're not just completely burning cash, you know, but in the beginning, it's super hard, really. Like I used to get so like upset almost, like it would be hard for me to fathom that I have 5 guys in the shop and my overhead's eating. And I'm like, man, I just spent $4,000 today to clean our shop. But now it's come to the point where it's just like, it's so important, because I know as soon as the next day that weather breaks, we're out and we're, you know, so much more efficient and everything's so much better. And then if it breaks for 10 days straight, you never have time to catch back up. So the shop that was semi-dirty is wrecked now. And it's just, you know, it's super inefficient. And, you know, the reason in construction we have this lean construction model is 32% of time in the construction field is spent looking for tools. So if you can figure out ways to cut that down, the amount of money you'll save and you'll make off of just that will pay for its weight on those rain days.
Yeah. And I think in addition to cleaning and prepping, right? Like on commercial, if you're not doing a lot of repairs, which you should be building that into your arsenal right now anyways, but you're cleaning and you're prepping and notifying the property owners that you may have guys on site that won't, for services that won't interrupt traffic or the usability of the parking lot on those days, especially if they're close in the geographical setting to you. That makes a ton of sense. But I would look at everything that you did last year in order to keep the business running. Remember the things that you should be removing yourself from that were low priority and were low productivity in terms of income generation, and make sure that you're delegating that and that somebody is assigned to every one of those tasks. And that's how you build that well-oiled machine. We've got a guy that his one task on rain days is making sure that all of the recycling and all of the trash, anything that's in the yard, is gone. And because just like Skylar said, as soon as you get to those days or those spans of time where you can't be maintaining and doing the house cleaning, then everything goes crazy, and all of a sudden you don't have any time to do that anyways. So though the little things that you can think about that you did last year that were complete time sucks for you, figure out how to put that on a priority list for people. And you say, this is on your weekly task list. That, like in rocket fuel, they talk about everyone's rocks, right? You want to make sure that everyone has that rock that they know that they have to move because it's their priority, and that it's assigned to them, and it's their job. It is their job.
Kill the hustler. Like, and I was talking about this earlier as well too in our internal admin staff meeting, as I was like, man, I wish I just killed the hustler 5 years ago, right? 4 years ago. I wish I would have had that mindset that I killed that guy that was doing exactly all those things. I was the one taking out the trash. I was the one doing all of those little mundane tasks constantly. And I wish I just would have had one A player next to me. How different things would be now, than what it is, 4 years later, whatever, constantly. If I would have began with that model and realized that it's just one really, really responsible person and myself, and I didn't do all the tasks, and it's to be transparent with you, it's not till just recently that it really, really sank in for me. I went and picked up a laptop for my salesman, and I drove there and I drove back, and I was, 2 hours and some change into this, and I was like, man, this trip to go pick up a laptop just cost me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I was like, I didn't care if I door dashed it at that point for 150. Like the amount of money I would have saved as, typically the highest paid person in the business being an owner, which, typically it's either an owner or a salesman should be like the really high paid guys, right? And I just went and did this mundane task. And in the beginning, you're like shelling all that money out and you're like, man, this is a lot. Like, I'm not quite sure. And it's so overwhelming to be like, man, I only got $1,000 here and I'm gonna pay 100 to get this thing done. But as long as you're driving the right indicators to move the business forward, it'll pay for itself tenfold. So if you're out selling jobs and you're out getting the next commercial work and you land a $50,000 project and you spend, say $1,500 in doing those little mundane tasks that are so like, it's like, oh man, I need to save the dollar here. I need to clean the shop myself. I'll send the guys home early. It was the mindset that I was in. And I've like, if I would have killed that earlier, I think we would have been in a much farther place with just an A player and getting rid of those, underpaying tasks.
That quadrant of things that are high value, low value.
Yep.
Putting things in that list and making sure that you're adhering to it in the times. And it is frustrating, and you are going to watch that. You're going to watch that runway deplete, and you're going to burn up some of those reserves. But having guys that are bought in and you are taking care of them is definitely important to getting you to the next stage. So that's great input, Skylar.
Awesome, Alex. Appreciate the question. Did you get an answer that you wanted?
Did appreciate that.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. We got about 4 more questions here, so we got to skip through this. Let's go. Fred, did you get a chance to fix your?
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
All right. Boy, this computer's driving me crazy. But anyway, yeah, I had a question about pricing for like lines. How do I figure that? I'm in the Dallas area. I've put in proposals and I think I'm overbidding or something.
Break it down for us.
I really don't know how to explain it. I know this is confusing to y'all too. So, but I'm trying to be as plain as I can be, but I really don't know, if I'm higher than everyone else, of course, they're going to go with the lower person. But if I'm too low, then I'm going to lose my shirt. So I don't know what to do.
What are you charging roughly per stall line?
Pardon?
What are you charging roughly per stall line? Like per parking line? How much are you roughly charging? Or per lineal foot?
I think we're charging like the cost of the paint doubled. Then Michael or Mike is then charging for like our labor. Then he's charging for the gas for trucks, gas for the machine. He's charging for per foot, and I think he's charging like 40 cents a foot on the lines. And I'm just thinking, he's coming up with these on a good sized park lot. I think he had figured about 28,000 or something like that. So, I'm like, wow, that's great money, but we're not getting any responses, and no one's wanting to buy it, I guess.
$28,000 is a lot of paint. So I think that we should be talking to Skylar, maybe having a one-on-one session with Skylar and going over that in detail.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
I'll
even for
probably-
now, I did just rebuild the AK template for generic if it's something that you don't want to do right this minute. But like I would love to go in depth, and I don't want to talk you out of going in depth because it is really important. But on a value add on the current of right now, I did just rebuild the AK line striping template that is going to give you some good generic ballparks. Because like really ideally you want to figure out what that lineal foot price is that encases all of those things instead of charging that lineal foot price plus all of those things. Because it sounds to me as you're charging that lineal foot price roughly in that area, that's probably encasing all those things, and then you're adding it back on the top instead of, doing it all inclusive. So that would be my recommendation. I can send you the template. If you're still confused, what I would do is use the template, see where it comes out to where you're bidded now, and see if it's a drastic difference or something's way off there. And then if you're still confused off of that, then of course, yeah, I can hop on a one-on-one with you. And, Michael knows his numbers pretty well. He's showing me a spreadsheet and that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think he'll probably grasp it quick. He just might need to see it.
Okay, yeah. So what I'd like you to do, Scholar, is I'll get a Michael to get in touch with you on this because he's a little more heads up with that kind of stuff than I am. I'm that old school type person that just kind of charges what I think I ought to charge, and that's what I charge, and so.
Yeah.
And that's worked for me for, like Michael said, I've had my own business for 35 years and it's worked for me for that long. So I'm not, and I can't convince Michael that my way is the right way. He wants to do it his way, or that's where we're at.
He's trying to be safe, and there's a respectable thing in that. So, yeah, let's make sure that we make that meeting happen and we get Michael in touch with that template. Who's next on the list, Matthias?
We got Gary. Gary, you got your speaker working, your microphone? Just go ahead and click that microphone in the bottom left corner. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I really liked what Anthony Bison had to say. Because I just purchased 2 of the 4K infrared machines. I haven't gotten them yet. I'm waiting on them, but I need to know about how to price it and the jobs and stuff. Because I plan on just doing repair work to start off with. I've been doing asphalt for years, and I still work for an asphalt company now, but I'm ready to go out on my own and do my own thing.
Where do you live, Gary?
I live in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I got somebody flying into my place next week for a 3-day infield, and we're going to be doing a lot of infrared stuff. I'd love to get you the numbers on what that would cost for you to come out and spend some time with us. If that's something that you're willing to do, or if you just want to do some coaching over the phone, I'd be happy to help you with that.
Yeah, for now, a little coaching over the phone would be real nice, because my funds are kind of stretched to the max right now until I start generating some funds.
You just bought some awesome equipment, but you also are on the verge of making some really good returns on that. So that's awesome. You said you bought 4 machines?
I bought 2 of the R4s. I think they're 19 by 51, like the 1.5 by 4. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I got 2 of them, and I got the 2-ton hot box.
Oh man,
but
that's a nice setup. Everyone should start there. That's awesome.
And then I did get the plate tamp also. Yeah, and the 5-gallon bucket of rejuvenator. So now it's just getting I got the hand tools and all, but yeah, I'm waiting on that stuff to come. I'm looking for a trailer now to put it on and have me a trailer fixed up with all my stuff, and I'll just be starting out by myself, and see how it goes and see what kind of customers I can pick up. That's another thing. I need some mentoring on is, you know, how to talk to people and who to talk to and how to generate some
The
customers.
people with potholes, they're easy to find. They're super easy to find.
Yeah,
You just,
I was
everywhere
just
you go,
at
you see a
Home
pothole, that's your
Depot,
person.
and yeah, I was at Home Depot just now, and I showed my daughter. It was like 20 wheel impressions, like down 15 parking spaces where the wheels have settled into the pavement. And I'm like, look at that. There's 20 holes I could do right now. You know, I mean, easy work, man. You know, like I say, I've done asphalt pretty much most of my life, so I'm familiar. I know about asphalt and the work, and that's no problem. But just the pricing, and then I loved what you were saying about making the little patties and stuff, and reusing it. Like if I got a ton of asphalt, you know, taking shovelfuls and making little blocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, uh, what you were saying earlier was worth the weight in gold to me. I mean, that's exactly what I need to know, man.
Yep. It's really easy to figure out. Have a good night, Robert. We'll see you. Yeah, it's all super easy stuff. I can help you over the phone. There's you got a lot of options in terms of coaching and being able to get some good value that way. So yeah, let's just reach out. My phone number is in my chat, and hopefully you're parked. You can
Yeah, I
you can
am.
see that phone
Yeah.
number. Just call me
Let me
anytime.
see. All right, let me get back. Okay,
Anthony, maybe
I'm gonna
even,
take a screenshot. I guess it'll screenshot. Well,
Yep, absolutely.
maybe even Justin. I think he gets some random stuff up that way too. Talking about
Yeah.
Home Depot, you might be able to link him with Justin. Anthony.
Oh yeah, and honestly, those stores, a lot of the regional stores, Home Depot kind of has its own program. That's what Skylar's talking about, where they put companies in charge of the contract, and then it all goes to one place. But a lot of
Yeah.
those regional stores, chain stores, you'll be able to make contact with the manager, and they'll have a discretionary budget that they don't have to go to their regional manager to get something fixed, or they can put in a request to get it fixed, and you can get yourself in line that way. So it's really not that difficult to figure out that chain of command and go and at least start the conversation. And they're usually so busy that if you talk to them and their bandwidth is small, they'll say, or used up, they'll say, oh, I can't help you with that, but this person can, and they'll shuttle you right to them because they want to get that off of their plate and their what's in front of them. You know?
All right. When's a good time to try to contact you?
Anytime. Call me. If I don't answer, I will call you back. It may take me 48 hours. Ask Skylar.
That's fine, man. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah, call me back.
All right.
Yep. Reach out anytime.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Sam, let's go, buddy.
You're muted, bro.
Oh, there you go. Hey guys, how
What's
you doing
up,
today?
Samuel? How are you?
Oh, living the dream. I want to once again thank you guys as always. You guys wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. I just had a second manager for another Phantom Fireworks reach out to me. Said they liked my prices on the other one, so I'm now putting together another job on that one, which I'm thankful for. Yeah, I chimed in. I was eating dinner. I chimed in right when you were talking about the Aquafault. Like, hey, if it costs you $75, then you should be charging at least $150, $200. So I'm gonna rewatch this once it gets uploaded to see the whole everything I missed. But is that just a general rule of thumb to go with that? If it just 50% of what you're making, or what it costs you, you should be charging? Because
no,
because I've been using Gator Pave. I'm not quite sure if any of you guys have been using it, but I've been upselling that a lot on a lot of driveways, and I've only just been making, like, it cost me $85 for it, and then I've been charging $120 per pail that I'm using, which is like roughly $35-$40 profit, everything considered. And I just decided to up it.
I think you're leaving a lot of money on the ground. Skylar
Yeah.
would say the same thing.
Yeah, I'm
That is not
probably
aggressive.
charging
That is not aggressive.
and even to be clear with like Aquafault, like if I'm doing a garage apron, right, like a little 1 foot ramp, it's probably gonna take a bucket, and I'm charging like $450, dude, like for a $75 pail of Aquafault. Same thing with like Gator Patch. I'm laying that for probably 500, 700, 900. I'm like, look, I'm gonna run crack fill through here. It's probably gonna be 1100. I can put a bucket of Gator Patch down, and it's gonna be 700. I can R&R it, and it's gonna be 3,000. Here's the, again, temporary fix, the correct fix. Here's the price bracket. It's like what I love to tell people is if you're not giving people options, you're giving them an ultimatum. Sell. You know what I mean? Use it. Sell. Show them the highest price and then show them the comparables, and don't spend your money. Spend theirs. A lot of people send the quotes and they're like, oh, that's really expensive. But you're thinking that from your pocket. It's not necessarily what the customer is going to say. And, if you're not giving those options, like I love to throw options because at the end of the day, I can constantly sell. Even if I don't get the $3,000 R&R, I'm still helping prolong the life of their asphalt by providing them either a temporary Band-Aid or another solution that's going to be able to do this. So like lay it down and don't be afraid to charge. And I promise you that is not $30 or $40 all inclusive profit. You didn't pay yourself to lay it yet. You're broke, dude. You're not going to have money at the end of the day. Like if you charge like that, and I'm not saying you're broke now, but I'm saying you will be broke if you keep doing that, because like if it takes you, whatever, 40 minutes to lay it, and you got to get it out, and you got to get your squeegee, and you got to clean it all up, and you're laying a whole bucket, and then you got to torch the top, or you got to sit there and let it dry until you put seal coat over it. Like there's no money left.
I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be happy with a $40 profit on a bucket of Gator Patch if I gave it to a homeowner and they installed it themselves. Right? I wouldn't. Okay. I'm being honest. So you're leaving money on the ground. I've gotten $500 a bucket before, multiple buckets on a driveway to fix edge damage that the guy didn't want to pay for saw cut and replace. And he was more than happy. I said, listen, you can't use your driveway for probably 3-4 days afterwards. We got to make sure it's nice and hard before you get on it. So like, I'm going to come back and inspect it. I did a lot of work for the money besides install it. Yeah. But for 30 or 40 bucks a bucket, you got to source the stuff. Like me just grabbing it and giving it to somebody, there's no way I would be respecting my time and the actual cost of my involvement in that if I let alone installing it. So yeah, you pull yourself up on that and know that we're giving you real guidance that is not fair to you. And you're not in this to not be fair to yourself. You're not going to be here long term to help people and add value to their lives and their properties if we're not taking care of you first, Sam.
No, of course. Like I said, always thankful for your guys' word of wisdom, and especially I've been looking at employees too. That was maybe a month ago. We were talking about getting the A employee, A rated employee, and I've been looking, and I'm actually just had an interview today with the kid. He seems like he knows what he's doing, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to set him up for success, just like setting me up for success.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, pay it forward.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Sam. Thank you. All right. We're getting down to the about quarter after. Gary, did you have your hand up again? Did you have another question? You're good? All right. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Coaches, thank you for jumping on. Really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your guys' knowledge.
Sorry for the late entry. I was
presenting earlier. I already put
the
I put the excuses out before you guys came on. No worries.
was mine legit?
No, we said you were having a pie eating contest. You couldn't get away from it. They all believe me. No, I'm kidding. I said you guys were on a site, obviously, so we understood.
Yeah, we were presenting on a meeting, so we made an overview map and we walked the HOA board through it. There's a walking trail through the community, so they were like, it was high caution tape project because it's that type of community, and they wanted to know everything about it, and then compare us against people. So we made a nice map, 3D, walked them through their property, and then explained each of the line items and how it'll go down. So
sweet, awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for dropping in, and We'll see you on the next one, next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you.
Good to see you, Michael.
Thank you, guys.
See you, bro.
Really good stuff this night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys. Thank you, guys.
Level up, guys. It's time.
Let's go. It is.
Right,
We're in
Tyler?
the middle of it.
Bro. Ready.
Love you, bye.
It's a guy thing. Just go with the guns.
Yeah.
Just go with the guns.
Victor,
That's
are you been
awesome.
working out, bro? You look good. You've been working out or something.
He's been working. He's been
I've
working.
been working on the park.
You've been working on the asphalt. You got
No.
away from that damn desk and you're walking those lots now. That's what it is.
Dude, I feel a different level of fatness. I'm like fluffy now. I can flow. Listen, when I wake up in the morning, everything just hurts. I'm like, this feels so good. Damn. I want some more. Matias asked the question in the beginning, and I completely disagree with him. I get pissed off on the rainy days. I want to go back out there. As much as it hurts, I want to go back out there. Because it's like
Good. You're hungry.
Yeah, this thing feels good. Tomorrow I'm working. We're doing 2 lots. The entire lot is 110,000 square feet, total of 6 lots, and we're doing 2 tomorrow. So
Nice.
we got
My man.
window, and it's not going to rain for at least 17 hours. So then it's supposed to sprinkle. So the client wanted me to go at it. I said, sorry, I can't. We got to wait for that. I can't. I'm not gonna, it's too big of a lot for me to take a risk to do it all over again.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You'll learn with time. A little bit of additives and a little bit of things like that. You'll layer down, bud. You'll layer down.
The local guy's been helping me a lot, and the one thing where the client goes, so you saw the line item about the deposit? He goes, well, Victor, we don't do deposits. I go, oh, okay, no problem. It's only $11,000 worth of materials. So whatever.
Yeah. Dude, AMX is typically great with their cash cards in the beginning. Your credit score needs to be semi-high, but like their flex spending cards are like, you know, I've gotten to my size off of literally just American Express, because as soon as you get one, they'll give you like $5,000 and you pay it off, and then they'll give you like 10, and then they'll give you like 30, and then they'll give you like 60. You know, like we have hundreds of thousands of dollars of just credit cards, and then it's cash, 30 days as cash.
We got about 200,000 worth of trouble we can get into. We just, we're pretty good about it.
Yeah. It's great. It's great in the beginning, but it's also balls in the street there too, so make sure.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you, man.
Everyone. Awesome seeing everybody. I got to head out too.
Good. Yep.
Agreed.
I'm on load now. Take care. Bye.
See you guys.
See you.
Ciao.